Hello everyone, Person87 here, and I'm back with another Terraria video. This one is on the KRPG mod, which turns Terraria into, well, an RPG. So, I wanted to do this series as I remember a Terraria mod a while back called Terraria. I couldn't find that mod on the T-Mod Loader browser, so I found another mod called another Terraria RPG, or another RPG mod I think it was called. I didn't really like that one, seeing as early game was a bit too difficult, as I'm not sure if it was because I played on expert mode. Every enemy was like level 15, 16, 20, and so it was kind of hard to really level up and really start when every enemy had like 500 and 600 health, and so it made it difficult to really start and really get a hold. So then I found another mod called KRPG, which is a lot better, seeing as I can actually start and not have to worry about getting one-shotted and encountering zombies with over 1000 HP. So KRPG it's a lot simpler than another RPG mod. Another RPG mod had a skill tree that you could level up, and so you had to level up and invest in that skill tree, obviously. With this, there isn't a skill tree, there's like a stat screen, and your different weapons have stats, which I'll explain later. So as you can see here, the UI is a bit different. So the inventory is on the wrong side, so it took me a while to actually get used to where the inventory was. These things I'm messing with here are actually what you can use to create spells, and spells you can make using those 4 circles at the bottom. I didn't actually know this at the time, so I was just kind of using it and it was like, well, what do I do with it? I eventually do figure out, well, where to do with them. I won't really be using spells a whole lot throughout the series, since I like the ranged weapons. That's kind of just my thing. I've always played Terraria using the ranged weapons, and that's what I'll be doing for this series. I was thinking that maybe I could combine this and Calamity, seeing as, this is a mod that doesn't really add any bosses, but it's just really changes the way, well, it doesn't really change the way you play, it just kind of enhances the way you play, I guess. Might be a lot better. But I thought, seeing as how with leveling up you can increase your health, I'm not sure how that would work with the health increased items that you'd get in a Calamity. Like, I'm not sure how those would interact, and I didn't really want to break Calamity to where I would have over maybe 2000 health when I'm not supposed to, so that's why I did it. Anyway, the start of this mod is just like how you would start pretty much any other Terraria game. Just cut down trees, create a workbench, build a little house, and so I guess I'll talk about some of the features of this mod. So the difference between another Terraria RPG and KRPG that I feel like should have it is that enemies had levels. So in another RPG, as I said before, I was encountering enemies who were level like 10, 15, 20. That got really annoying, since I was like level 1, and that mod also reduced your max HP, so I had 50 health when normally you have 100. And so I was also getting one shot by everything, which is why I stopped, because I couldn't really start. And so this mod doesn't have enemy levels, but it does have enemy prefixes. Like you'll see later on in the video, I'll start encountering giant enemies, sagely enemies, which just adds like this aura around them, which damages them. And some other ones I'm not sure what it does, like elusive. I'm not sure if that increases dodge chance or whatever. Swift, well, obviously that increases speed. So yeah, enemy prefixes is definitely something you'll see a lot. Like you see here, this slime is a lot bigger than normal. The only issue with the enemy prefixes, especially with the bigger enemies, is that one passive enemies can have it. So birds, like you'll see later, I encountered a giant red cardinal, and the hitbox doesn't really scale with the enemies. So the slime hitbox is where a small slime would be. So when I encounter giant enemies, the hitbox isn't really correct, as some of my bullets will just end up phasing through them. And so as you see there was the sagely prefix I was talking about. I'm not going to explore the world, 1 to gain XP from killing enemies, 2 mainly to find out where the Crimson is, where everything else is, see if dungeon is on this side, but I end up not going to the dungeon. And I'm not sure what mod allows penguins to drop blizzards in bottles. I'm guessing it's from KRPG, seeing as most of the mods I had in this series were present in the Dragon Ball Terraria series. Penguins didn't drop blizzards in bottles. It also works for other biomes too. Actually, later in the video, I do actually get a sandstorm bottle from, I'm not really sure, I think it was from an antlion. Anyway, while I'm exploring, I'm not sure if you noticed when I made the wooden bow, but each weapon has different, I guess, elemental damages. So this wooden bow here had lightning, did lightning damage. And so this applies to, I think, every weapon. Later when I get the Undertaker, that one had, I think, fire damage, which is pretty cool. I do like that each weapon has its own unique elemental damage on top of the base damage it already does. Now I'm not sure if each enemy has like different elemental resistances. As you can see when I looked at my stat screen, I had elemental resistances. I'm not sure if this applies to every enemy or it's just me that has elemental resistances. I'm also not sure what those elemental resistances are used for, seeing as I don't know if enemies do any additional like elemental damage. So something cool I wanted to talk about is, of course, the enemy prefixes, which I mentioned earlier. Those apply to every enemy, so even bosses. When I fought Brain of Cthulhu later on in the episode, he actually regenerated HP naturally when I wasn't attacking him. So that was a bit unique. It really put a spin on the fight. I won't spoil the outcome, but I'm probably sure you can tell from the way I sound. Anyways, I fast forward a bit, and this is what the level up screen looks like. You have only 3 stats you can really invest in, which as you can see here and just read those. I'm not really sure why Life Leech is kind of a skill you always have. To me that seems a bit broken, as especially in hard mode when you get weapons like the Mega Shark or even the Mini Shark or just like automatic guns in general. It seems kind of like you could gain a lot more health than the damage you're taking, so you could just tank boss hits like that. But anyways, that's just my thought. As you can see, I died here. I actually died a lot in this episode. You might not see a lot of them just because I was just exploring in caves and just died that way, and I'll probably just cut out a lot of that. Anyway, for this first night, I usually would go mining underground to try and pass the time and find ores, but here I'm actually going to stay out and just kill as many enemies as I can to gain as much experience as possible. to prep for the first few bosses like King Slime and all that. I do have the Consolaria mod, which adds in mobile exclusive bosses. I thought that was actually against the rules for Team Mod Loader, like you can't add in version exclusive bosses or weapons, but apparently it's not. I'm actually don't remember how to actually summon the first console exclusive botch, which is Lepus. I think that was a like an Easter thing where you had to kill a bunny during Easter. I'm not sure about that. I think that might be Turkor. I haven't played mobile Terraria in years. I don't remember. Jumping ahead again, it's actually daytime in Terraria right now, so I decided to go down and just do some mining. So hopefully when I came back up it was night, so I can gain some even more XP. I am actually going to do this mining off camera, seeing as nothing really interesting happens. It's just same old Terraria, but just occasionally you'll get destroyed by a bird that has the Sagely prefix on it. Anyway, my mining expedition was cut short by an undead miner. I almost had him, but apparently the wooden bow doesn't have any knockback. Who would have guessed? Anyways, as you can see, I'm level 6, and I decided to build my character like how I build like a, I guess a ranged or an archer character in any other RPG. You know, they have low health but really high crit chances, and so that's what I invest a lot of my skill points in. I also, since enemies don't have levels, I'm not sure like if I'm over leveled or under leveled. I'm not sure if enemies scale according to your level or not. I'm actually have no clue or anything about this mod in general. So instead of like investing all my points into like damage and health increase, I decided to sort of balance it out and like build my character how you would build a traditional like guess rogue character. Again, my mining expedition was again cut short by a undead miner with the Sagely buff. Actually, it wasn't him that killed me, it was just the ore that surrounds them. The Sagely buff is extremely strong, actually. I think it's a bit too strong, seeing as how it would like rip through my armor and do like 400 or 500 damage to me, which would just insta kill me. So I usually tend to avoid enemies with the Sagely buff. And like, see here, this zombie just did 118 damage to me. So I'm guessing enemies aren't really, they don't scale to your level, but they set like a specific level. Seeing as well, I don't think you're meant to survive a zombie that can do 118 damage to you. Anyways, right now I'm exploring the world further, and also gaining a bit more XP. Anyways, I'm heading to the Crimson to grab a Undertaker. Just simply as, again, like I said earlier, I prefer the guns or ranged weapons in this game, with my favorite one being the Mega Shark. Here I expanded my house to actually get the arms dealer to move in. Here's what it looks like done, or at least done for now. Here I was reading the stat screen a bit to just to look around and just see what the stat screen was just about. I went exploring the left side of the world, and here I came across the jungle. I didn't explore the world fully as my trip was stopped short by me dying, which you'll see in a bit. I headed back underground to find a ruby and some gold. I wanted to fight my first boss, King Slime, and just see what the boss fights in this mod had to offer. And as usual, my mining expedition was cut short by me dying. Anyways, if you look in the bottom right hand corner, you'll see that one of the circles is filled in with the number 2. Well, I actually made a spell using those shapes that I had in my inventory for a while. The spell does pretty much nothing. It just shoots rocks out above me. It's really useful for like mage or for mage users, but I'm not really into the whole magic thing, so I don't really be using spells a lot. Anyway, I headed back down to go mining, and I eventually found my ruby, so now I'm actually making an arena to fight King Slime in. But I'm guessing RNG had a different plan for me, seeing as that Cthulhu was about to start spawning. I'm actually not sure why he's spawning now, seeing as though I need to have 200 health and at least silver armor for him to spawn naturally. I'm not sure if all this stuff I have on right now equates to silver armor and defense. I was actually pretty worried for this fight, seeing as well I didn't really intend to fight Cthulhu now, I wanted to fight King Slime first. And I wasn't sure if bosses could spawn with the Sagely prefix, which would have made this fight 10 times harder. Anyways, I'm actually going to end the episode here, so subscribe to find out what happens on the next episode of KRPG Terraria.